Everybody, Randy here in Eastwood Garage. Thanks for joining us for another live video on Facebook, YouTube, and at eastwood.com. Today we have Andy here. He's going to demonstrate our 3-in-1 slip roll, brake, and shear. He's going to show you how to fab patch panel for a trans tunnel. And if you have any questions, as always, everybody's favorite lead tech advisor, Scotty C's here. Oh, is that your fans? Everybody, please, yes.
To me, I can answer them live, or we can also shoot them over to Randy.
Or Andy.
Yes. Randy and Andy today.
Yes. So, all right. Andy, our 3-in-1 brake, slip roll, and shear. We've got a 12-inch version, and we've got the 30-inch version over there. It's going to do everything. It's going to do 18-gauge aluminum, 20-gauge steel, 24-gauge stainless, yep. And basically it's 3 products in one. So, yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about it and what we're going to make?
Just a quick go over it. You have your slip roll up top, your actual finger brakes, so these are removable, so you can make box and pans. And then on bottom is your shear. Some of the quick things that we went over earlier, we made up a small channel for the bottom of the door pan.
So with this brake, you can really make tight,
almost right on top of each other. So you don't have to worry about the whole bottom half of a normal brake, yeah, where the handles are. You can basically put different things on top of each other. You don't have to worry about that extra space. Made like a large double battery tray right here.
Yeah, and this is why the box and pan brake option is so important, because it allows you to bend. Correct. Typically with a brake you can make 2 bends. You can't make bends the whole way around. Correct. Whereas, if you see our demonstrations, you can take the fingers out and you can just keep bending the whole way around, because it gives space for the edges to fold up.
The nice thing with this is it is a press brake. So when you're actually using it, you can easily see how far you've gone, not sitting there trying to hold it, looking around, making sure that you're at the right angle. Much easier. Kind of like a miniature trans tunnel made out of aluminum. Obviously you can do almost any material here. Do the roll, and then came over, lop the ends off, and then break the sides.
So this was actually made, the entire thing, with one product.
Correct.
Because you can roll it, cut it, and bend it. All with,
yeah, not everybody has the room to have a brake, slip roll, and like all these. Yeah. Even if you do have the room, you got to store them somewhere, bring them out, move them around, mount them onto something. It just takes a lot of time to do those things. So it's a time saver and a space saver. Little cylinder. You can go as big as you want, or down to 1.5 inches.
Like an old truck bed top or
Correct.
Something like that.
So
bed rail.
Pretty simple little things, but these were done in just minutes. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of show you about a half version of this. When you're doing a trans tunnel, you're not going to replace the entire hoop. More than likely, water got in a certain area. There's some rot in a certain place. So we're going to basically replace one side of it, do a bend, cut, and do some slip roll.
Cool.
So we're going to show you a couple little neat little features about this, which I'll bring Joe around real quick. You can see from the side here, this is where your shear is. And these little posts that are coming off the back, what this basically is a stop, where you can move it back and forth. So if you ever want to do the same cut over and over again, if you want to make a 1 foot long piece that you're going to end up using almost in production, instead of sitting there making marks every single time, with your Sharpie, which you could technically measure wrong, in order to be efficient, you would set it at whatever depth you want, take your material, put it in the bottom of the machine, cut it, put another piece in, cut it, and you're going to have over and over repeatability, and you won't be making any mistakes. You're going to have the same thing over and over.
And you can even move it up.
Yeah, correct.
If you can see there's holes here, you can move it up there and then use it for the brake.
Yeah, correct. So you'll have repeatable bends over and over again. Another feature real quick, we can come around the front, is this is a spring-loaded like a tensioner piece. So when you are using that brake feature, or the cutting feature,
shear,
what happens is normally when you ever use a cut, it'll start forcing the piece up, and it won't be as accurate. So this spring-loaded tensioner basically keeps the piece down, which we'll show you a little bit later. Just for ease of use, we're going to use a slip roll first. So we're actually going to pull this out. You can see how quickly you can do that and set it aside. In order to get to the slip roll, we're just going to open that piece up.
This slip roll also will do round stock, right? 5/32,
yes.
1/8, and 1/4 inch.
Yep, so you can see all the pieces over here that are cut out. All you do is you feed in from the back, You can make decorative pieces out of round stock in either one of those 3 sizes. Some people will ask, if you do a tube like this, how do you remove it? It looks like it's all steadfast. All you do is you loosen up this piece right here all the way up, and all you're going to do is just pull the piece out. Put it back in and set it down. So what we're going to do, we're just going to really quickly start by feeding this from the back. What we did was we preset the tension on the back knobs back here. Every time you throw this thing through, what you're going to do is you're going to do a half turn or a full turn. What I like to do is take a silver Sharpie on these back knobs and just make a quick mark. That way, when you turn it, you're going to turn it a half or a full turn, and you're going to see that same thing every single time. Because what can happen is you're going to start making a cone, which is another feature. You're going to you can make cones, you can make tubes. So with making that mark there, you can do repeated and accurate bends. What we're going to do, so basically it's not going to put almost any bend in it this first time around. I'm just trying to get it seated in. So it might have moved it just a slight amount. We're going to keep on going. A little bit of a bend. So what we're going to do is we're going to come around back. We're going to make 2 half turns, equaling a full. And we're going to come back over here and we're going to start bending again. So still not quite enough, but you know what? You don't want to have to do this again twice. So I'm going to actually put in a couple more turns. That way we can get moving here for the video. All right. Now we're starting to actually see some of that bend. And it's a nice fluid bend. You can see it's a really gentle arc. A lot of times you got a piece of sheet metal and you're sitting there, you're bending it over your leg. Yeah. It's never going to be the same regardless. So I'm going to keep on moving back a little bit. We need a little bit more out of it, so we're going to stop to the point where that bend needs to stop. Add another full turn both sides. And we have just about enough, so we're going to actually pull this thing out. So now we have that gentle curve. And as you can see, I left a little bit too much on the bottom because when it comes down to the fitment, you want to make sure you got enough material, a little bit left over if you make a mistake. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw it down the bottom. We know exactly where we need to make our cut. And we're going to put this guide fence on to make it easier on ourselves.
Now, a minute ago you said make a mistake. What is that?
I think Scott can tell us.
Yeah. Speaking of mistakes, Scotty C. Do we have any questions?
Sure.
There?
While Andy's setting that up, one of the questions I got asked was what different gauges this particular unit can work on.
And you're going to answer that.
I'll answer because Andy's rolling along pretty good there. So it's 20 gauge mild steel, 24 gauge stainless steel, and 18 gauge aluminum.
And we're using 20 gauge steel now.
Yep. So
thanks a lot, Scott.
We've got our marks exactly where we need to be. And another thing that's a nice little feature, this is actually a guide plate over here. It's a machine plate. So when you actually put your piece against it, it's going to cut a straight line. 90. So just make sure if you do buy one of these, there's a lot of little adjustments all over the place. You make sure you put your square up to it and make sure it's straight. So we are going to line this up. And as you noticed before, as I was working on this, these are little adjustments. So if you're working on the slip roll, I like to have it right in the center. That way it's really easy to rotate. But for doing the actual shearing, you need a little more force. So all you do is you just straighten them out, line it up. And I'm going to grab both sides just because it's a little bit easier. And as you can see, that didn't jump or anything because of this spring-loaded guide. And it took a nice, clean cut. You don't have to worry about sitting there with snips for a couple minutes and trying to stay straight. You have an exact straight cut every single time. And really quick, we know that we need to bend at these 2 marks. We're actually going to flip it over and bend it up this way. This is where you're going to end up having it down near your leg in the car. So we're going to have this bent up just for ease of use. I'm going to quick pull this off so you guys can see a little bit better. So if you notice, depending on how this thing's rotating, it's either going to be pushing up or pushing down. So if you rotate it through another cycle, then you can pull down. So.
And if you're just joining us, Andy's just giving us a demonstration here on our 3-in-1 slip roll, brake, and shear. And we're using all three to make one patch panel.
So we'll put this down so we don't hit anybody in the head. Now you can see that right on the side of the trans tunnel, that's exactly what you'd be looking for down the floor of the vehicle, and then as it gently goes up and over the trans. So that took all of
a few minutes.
Yeah, a couple minutes. Very easy. That was the 20 gauge steel. I'm going to quick show why that fence is so important. So pick this up. This is aluminum. This is, I believe, 18 gauge aluminum. Just going to put it in there. See how it automatically went up? So what that's going to do is it's actually going to make the cut be on an angle. You don't want that. You're going to be sitting there trying to hold it, and in many cases you won't have the leverage you need to get both hands up to actually pull down on it. It'll jump out of the machine and actually fall on the ground. You might bend your material. So just be sure that these little guides that help you, use them. They're very simple little features. You can just pop that right back there for use. Slides right back in. And as we were talking about earlier, when it comes to the ease of use and making those boxes, you can see, if Joe, you can come in real close, there is actually little slits in each one of these. So you have all different sizes. You have 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 6, 8, and they all adds up to 30. It's very easy to remove. We're going to quick grab an Allen key. All you need to do is loosen up, pops right out. So if you're going to be making that box,
you just slide them around, take out the ones you need.
Correct. Very, very easy. It's all about being efficient, space savings. It's just a nice little machine. Not everybody needs 30-inch machine though. I mean, honestly, how many boxes are you going to make that large? A lot of guys are only doing 8, 12-inch pieces.
Yeah.
You move over to the little guy. Easily picked up, moved underneath your bench.
Works exactly the same way as what we just demonstrated.
Absolutely. Literally, it's all just to scale. It has the same guides, the same little pressure fence, the same fingers, everything. Same adjustments, like I said, just to scale. Really easy to use. And space saving, you don't need to buy all three things, which we do have all of them.
Yeah.
So if you want to, and you have designated areas, you can use all three machines. They all have their purpose, but
if you're looking for a 3-in-1, save
correct.
space.
Yeah, save space, save
and be
money.
able to do up to 30 inches.
Yeah, save money. Go check out our website, check out the price, and order it up. Comes in a nice big wooden crate, so you get home, you see that big old Eastwood logo on the side. It's a pretty neat thing to come home to on a Friday after a long weekend of work.
Thanks, Andy. Before we get out of here, we should check back in with Scott, see if we have any more questions.
Sure. Actually, not good on questions right now, but something else we can tease that Andy will like. It's one of the newest products that should hit the website in the next couple days. Joe can get zoomed in. This is our new mini metal saw. This is going to be tungsten carbide tipped saw blades that can cut through aluminum, steel, you name it. It can probably cut through it. It's a 5-amp motor, so it's definitely not lacking on power. So check this out in the next couple days. It'll be up on the website to go along with all your metal fab tools.
Cool.
Great.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
Thanks,
yeah,
Scott.
I guess you can do a video on that.
I can definitely do a video. And the nice part is it doesn't kick the sparks like you would with the traditional grinder or cutoff wheel. And it even stores a lot of the shavings get stuck in little catch for it. So it's a great tool, and can't wait to demo it and show you guys what it can do.
Yeah, we'll be demoing that here shortly. So, all right. Thanks again, Andy. If you're interested, it's our 3-in-1 brake, slip roll, and shear 30-inch. As well as a 12-inch version. There's a link. It's going to take you right to eastwood.com to check them out, get more information, or get yours today. So I guess we'll see you in about a month.
Yep.
Right? All right. Thanks a lot, everyone.